Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Xbox Show, brought to you by the lovely people. That's us at Attack on Geek. I am Tom. I'm joined by my co-host,
Dhayana.
Welcome. For those of you wondering, this is a different show, completely different show to the Attack on Geek show. This is the Xbox show where we talk exclusively about all the exciting news that is coming out of the world of Microsoft and everything to do with Xbox. And what a time to start this podcast. We, of course, are into day 2 of E3, officially day 2. And this morning we just had the Microsoft conference.
The Xbox and Bethesda
showcase, which we had to get up extremely early for. We're still both recovering from that, but we thought, got to jump into the podcast, got to give you guys the news. And for those of you who don't know, shall we we'll do quick introductions about ourselves and how I guess we got into Xbox. I'll start. Mine's real quick and real easy. I worked at a video game store. I got offered to stream as part of a program called Expert Zone, which was Microsoft's teach people how to play games and show off their new games and things like that. That's pretty much my foray. That's it. I played Xbox games and streamed for the Expert Zone, and then I guess you go into your.
Mine's a bit longer than that. Mine's it's a lot more involved. So I started playing on Xbox after meeting you, actually. Seeing you play games on Xbox and streaming on the Expert Zone channel, getting to interact with everyone in the community was just so good and so exciting that I picked up my first ever Xbox One console, my first ever Xbox console, which was the Halo 5 limited edition, which you sold me. Yep. And it's been all go since then. I ended up being an Expert Zone streamer as well, became an Xbox ambassador, went up to being an Xbox MVP, and now I'm essentially the only Australia and New Zealand Xbox MVP and Xbox Ambassadors Community Champion. I'm launching a project with some global friends all about Xbox as well, and so I'm very much immersed in all things Xbox, and it's funny that it all started from you. So
we literally could not get a more diehard Xbox person on this podcast, and coincidentally you happen to be my partner. So
coincidentally.
That's introductions. So should we just jump right into it? E3 day 2.
What a show!
Xbox Bethesda, after a pretty lackluster. I want to say lackluster because I don't know. Yesterday we had Digital Devolver, we had Gearbox, we had Ubisoft. Ubisoft is the AAA big boy studio or producer among them, and that was, I personally feel, a little bit lackluster. And
I liked it.
It was fine. It was fine. Digital Devolver, amazing, but they're an indie studio. You don't really expect, AAA stuff to come out of them. And then Gearbox didn't really announce anything. It was very, very dull. So day 2, big boys are coming out. Xbox, Bethesda. How are we going to cover this? I think our plan was...
God, they announced 30 games. It's going to be... I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge to go through each and every one of them in detail.
Yep. I think the plan for today is, what we'll do is we'll quickly do a run through of everything that's announced. We'll quickly just touch on exactly what they announced. And then we'll go over our top 5, top 6 things from... Top few things from the show. And we'll talk about those. And I think you put up the great tweet. So, unfortunately, this year, we didn't get any world premiere announcements. That guy, I don't know what they did with that guy. But what was the new one that they've got now?
Day 1 on Xbox Game Pass.
Game Pass. You're going to hear Game Pass.
You're going to hear Xbox Game Pass. You're going to hear Day 1. You're going to hear Xbox console exclusive. And just me cheering in the background, yay Xbox, yay Xbox.
So I think that's actually probably a good place to start. Let's quickly touch on Game Pass. Now, I don't know how many of you would know what Game Pass is, but if you've ever watched one of our streams,
you need to do the elevator pitch.
You know what Xbox Game Pass is. Hold on, we can actually pull in the music here, and I'll do the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Let me see. Music. All right, here we go. Get ready. All right, music's playing. Do you like video games but hate spending money? Well, have I got a fantastic deal for you today. Introducing Xbox Game Pass. It's like Netflix, but for video games. All for the low price of... How much?
I can't even remember.
It's like $20 a month. All for the low price of $20 a month.
Less than that, I believe.
It's probably even less than that. We have to double check. Not sponsored, by the way. You get the fantastic Xbox exclusive games day one on your Xbox console for free, as long as you've got an Xbox Game Pass subscription. Not only that, there's a whole host of other amazing games, a lot of which we're going to talk about today on Game Pass for free. Xbox Game Pass, it's like Netflix, but for video games.
And it's also available on Xbox Game Pass for PC.
And it's also on PC as well. We're going to talk more about Game Pass throughout this. Let's cut the music. All right, there we go. Xbox Game Pass honestly is amazing. I think it's worth mentioning as well. Before I started playing on Xbox, I was a huge Nintendo, huge Sony fanboy. I didn't see the point of picking up an Xbox, and then Xbox Game Pass is announced, and it's like, oh, I don't have to pay full price for games anymore because I'm going to get Halo day one on my Xbox. I'm going to get any Forza games day one on my Xbox. Any other major titles day one on my Xbox for free. And if I have the PC version, I get them on my PC as well, which is just nuts.
And now they've done it even better because now you get Bethesda games day one.
Xbox and Bethesda have joined together. Not only that, they've got EA Play, so you get the majority of EA games. I guess we'll touch base on that. As we're talking through, because obviously Battlefield got shown off at the event. But all right, we're getting distracted. We're getting off topic. Let's quickly go through the list of everything that they announced. And do you want to alternate it?
Sure.
We'll touch base on each of them. So the opening of the show, we had Todd Howard. What's his role at Bethesda? Is he the top dog?
I don't think he's the top dog.
I don't think he's the top dog, but he's the Skyrim guy. Whenever you see Todd Howard, Skyrim is going to be spoken about in some form. And when I saw him, I thought, here we go. Skyrim Elder Scrolls Remaster version 2. Go on, hurry up and announce it. But no Skyrim this time. They actually showed off a mini trailer for Starfield, which is Bethesda's new IP. I think it's their first new IP in, is it 20 years or something they said?
I can't remember what it was said. It was 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. So they didn't show any gameplay. They showed off a trailer, but they gave the release date. It's actually releasing on Skyrim Day next year. Skyrim Day is when Skyrim came out, which was the 11th of November, 2011. So 11/11/11. That was Skyrim Day. So Starfield is coming out on the 11th of November, 2022. Almost Skyrim Day. But that was the first announcement, and what a way to kick off a show. Next up we had
Stalker 2, which looked pretty interesting, to be honest. It looked really good, so I can only imagine it's a brand new take on, is it an old PC game?
I was about to say, so you've not played the...
I've not played.
Okay, so I've only seen bits and bobs, but I'm pretty sure Stalker was hailed as not revolutionary for its time, but it was held in very high regards for its time. From the trailer, it reminded me a lot of the Metro series. But I think instead of world ravaged by mutant monsters, there's like anomalies they kept talking about. But
it just looked very pretty as well.
Which I think I like to always touch on that, because everyone goes, oh, the game, it looks so pretty, and it's like, well, we're in 2021, right? Games looking pretty should just be the standard. That's not like an a new thing. I mean, ray tracing is I feel like it's only just been taken advantage of in the last like 6 months, right? Because they announced that in that PAX panel that we were at, that's where we really got a glimpse of it. It was for Battlefield 5. And we had the Star Wars demo. And only now games are really, truly starting to take advantage of ray tracing. And we could see that in the Stalker 2 trailer. Next up, we had Back 4 Blood. We had some gameplay of that. Back 4 Blood is the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, the zombie team co-op shooter. Look, it's Left 4 Dead with a new skin. It looks very cool.
And then we had Contraband from Avalanche Studios, which looked really interesting. I don't think they actually showed off much other than just the title.
They showed... They had a real small trailer. They showed a map which looks to be like a heist of some sort, and then they went to a Jeep, and the Jeep had a box in it, and it panned up to where the box is, and the box just had the title written in it, and it was that.
Well, this one's going to be a console exclusive and a day one Xbox Game Pass launch.
There we go.
That'll be good value for money there.
And then we had a very surprising one. I was not expecting this. Both of us weren't expecting this. They showed off that some awesome things were coming to Sea of Thieves. They started showing or talking about a new enemy, which looked very cool. And then a very familiar voice. Probably the worst pirate they've ever heard of appeared. But thankfully we had heard of him. Jack Sparrow is making his appearance in Sea of Thieves. There is a Pirates of the Caribbean crossover, which is coming. I can't believe how quickly this is happening. June 22nd.
Which is essentially next week.
And so it's going to have Jack Sparrow,
Davy Jones. It's got like awesome ship battles by the looks. The soundtrack as well. The Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack. Yep.
It was, it makes sense. But when was the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie? I thought that was dead.
I mean, there was a fourth one, but I never watched it because obviously new characters, completely different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. But you know the interesting thing though is the Xbox and Disney partnership in this. So obviously we've got Sea of Thieves, made by Rare, which is an Xbox game studio. Pirates of the Caribbean is Disney.
Yep.
Not to mention, Xbox Game Pass is often partnering with Disney to provide Disney Plus.
I was about to say, when you get a Game Pass subscription, I think you get like a 3 months, is it 1 or 2 months trial for Disney
and that's
Plus.
Really exciting because obviously I'm a huge Xbox fangirl, but I'm equally a huge Disney fangirl. So this is just the merging of all my fandoms.
Yeah. Wonder who else, like, what other Disney crossovers we could get in some of the... Do you reckon we'll eventually have Master Chief and Mickey Mouse crossover in Halo Infinite?
I don't know if Mickey Mouse is... he's too beloved a character to go around.
Kingdom Hearts exists. That has the entire Disney crossover with Final Fantasy. I mean, that exists. Anything can happen.
Maybe. We'll see.
Oh, do you want to take this next one? I'm very excited for this next one.
I think you go for this one. You
so
like this one.
They announced that they got me so good in the trailer. So they were promoting Game Pass, and they were talking about how all the Yakuza games are on Game Pass. And I remember when they announced that ages ago, I was very salty because it was around the release date of Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is a Yakuza game that's piqued my interest because it just looks like a crazy anime. Basically, just like all the absolutely mental stuff that's happening in that game. And I was very salty that I wouldn't be able to... Because it wasn't a game that I'd be like, yeah, I'll spend $80 on this. I'd try it out. And I was a bit salty. And then in the trailer, they're like, you can get all the Yakuza games on Xbox Game Pass. And I was like, yeah, but you can't get Yakuza Like a Dragon. And then they're like, now you can get Yakuza Like a Dragon. Download it today. And I was like, oh, well, that shut me up. So that is downloading in the background. I can't wait to try that out on the stream because
it'll just be pure chaotic fun.
Yeah, it's one of those games that looks like it doesn't take itself too seriously.
And then, of course, the big grand reveal, which I think everyone who is interested in EA titles was waiting for. Battlefield 6 finally got a gameplay trailer. So EA showed off the trailer and showed off just a little snippet of what Battlefield 6 would look like. Obviously, it's set in the future. It's actually Battlefield 2042, not Battlefield 6.
It's only 20 years in the future, right?
Still in the future.
Yeah, but
it looks pretty cool.
Not too far away.
The gameplay looks amazing. Yep. It's multiplayer only, but
128 players.
Wow.
Yeah, 64 aside. So that is going to be intense.
That's insane. But yeah, no, it looked absolutely insanely beautiful, and I can't wait to give that a go, especially because the multiplayer, you can actually play against AI. So it's kind of like a campaign, but not really. Yeah,
so this Battlefield 2042 is, multiplayer only. They haven't really touched on more than that.
It's not going to be a campaign, that's for sure.
Yeah. I guess the big question on everybody's mind, and I briefly mentioned this before, is right now you can play all of EA's major titles for free on Xbox Game Pass. But they didn't mention that at all for Battlefield.
I wonder if it's because it's going to be a brand new title. Do brand new titles come to Game Pass?
The indie ones did. The indie EA games that they released came straight away to Game Pass. But I can't remember. Did the FIFA game? I'm pretty sure the FIFA games did. But the FIFA games are plagued with microtransactions, so that's maybe why they didn't care. But it'll be interesting. Maybe it'll be like a 6-month console exclusive, and then it might come to Game Pass.
Potentially.
Yeah. But was there a release date? Do we know a release date for Battlefield 6?
I think it was like October.
It's this year, though, right?
It's this year.
It'll be Christmas. One of the big Christmas titles for the year. Next up, we had an interesting trailer for a game I'm pretty sure they announced last year.
It's been a few years.
Yeah.
They've showed it off, and I think it must have been at the E3 that I went to by myself, 2018.
Yeah, maybe. And this one actually, this is the one that's got William Dafoe in it, right?
William Dafoe, what's the actor who played Professor Xavier? James McAvoy. James McAvoy's in there, Daisy Ridley's in there. So Rey from Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
And then some other big names, but I can't remember now.
So we're talking about a little indie game. I say little, but it's got these AAA actors in it. 12 minutes, which is about a man stuck in a time loop, which we can only imagine for 12 minutes. And there is I don't feel like the trailer did any justice for the game. It didn't really show too much off apart from the star-studded cast, but there is an older trailer that I think shows what the game is about. But the highlight, and again, you'll hear me saying this, day one, Game Pass. Cannot wait to play that. I'm going to be playing that day one. And that's coming out August 19th. And if you've watched our other podcast, you will know that there is so much coming out from the indie studios across the next 2 months.
You're going to be busy.
It's June, July, August. It's literally my Christmas for video games.
Of course, it's not Xbox without a fantastic throwback to a sequel title.
Yep.
So we've got Psychonauts 2, which is releasing on August 25th. So again, another August title.
So Psychonauts is made by Double Fine, which Xbox or Microsoft acquired, I think, as part of their indie devs that they were acquiring. So yeah, finally coming to Xbox. I think this is years in the making. I remember my friends talking about Psychonauts back when I was in high school.
Oh wow!
So, like 10 years ago, over 10 years ago.
Wow, that's insane.
But I actually never played the original Psychonauts.
I didn't even know about Psychonauts until this.
I've heard lots of people rave about it and say it's well worth getting into. But is this Game Pass as well, right?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we can confirm is on Game Pass. A bunch more Bethesda titles. So they showed off Doom Eternal is coming to Xbox Game Pass with a whole heap of Xbox Series S and X
upgrades. Yeah, so it already looks so good. It's just going to look so much better when it comes out. I think it's June 29th where it gets the upgrade.
And that's free, so anybody who bought the Xbox One version will, of course, get a free upgrade. And because it's on Game Pass, it means you'll also get the DLC. What was it? It was like the DLC that came out this year. It was in 2 parts. I can't remember, but the DLC is brutally difficult. Like, if you've beaten the game and you need a challenge, check out the DLC. They also announced, I saw, it was all the Fallout games. So for the very original Fallout, which I don't think it's ever been on console before. Maybe I might be wrong, but I've never seen it on console. All of the original Fallouts, all of the Dooms.
The Dishonored.
Dishonored, including the DLC for Dishonored 2. So a whole heap of good games. Like, already, so bearing in mind, we're talking about new things that are coming to Xbox Game Pass. There's already a whole heap of amazing stuff on Xbox Game Pass already. Yep. And this is new stuff that's coming to Xbox Game Pass.
If you're not on the Xbox Game Pass train, you're missing out.
It is literally a no-brainer.
You get, it's even better if you get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate in that sense, because you get Xbox Live, you've got
PC,
Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Game Pass for PC, Xbox Game Pass for console, and it's literally all packaged in that one bundle. You get all your AAA titles, all your indie game titles, all these new day one titles. Look, it really is.
All the Sony fanboys out there, look, put aside your console wars. This is such a good service. Like, it's such a we're not sponsored. I can't stress that enough. We are not sponsored.
We just like games we like value for money. So.
It's so good.
Also, because we can't afford to play like $100 for every single game we want to pick up.
Yeah, there's so much coming out, and it just, for us, we've got so much we need to play and review. Game Pass just makes sense for us because we just play the game, play it until you got enough to write a review. Boom, on to the next one.
Or play a game until you just enjoy it so much that you want to keep playing it.
Yep.
Yes, there we go. Speaking of exciting games,
yeah.
My next favorite title that was shown off yesterday is a game that is absolutely the cutest game I've ever seen, next to the likes of Fall Guys and Human Fall Flat, which, speaking of, this game is essentially Human Fall Flat, but with an animal skin. So imagine playing little animals just floating around, trying to push each other down the hills.
It's Gang Beats meets Human Fall Flat.
But with animals.
Yeah.
Absolutely cute.
Basically, it looks like, stuffed animals, but wielding baseball bats, tasers, freeze rays. I can't remember any other the weapons that they had, but basically
I don't know. I just saw the musical number that they did, and I was like, I'm sold.
It's basically if you haven't played any of those 2 games we just mentioned, it's a party fighting game where you're on an arena. I've seen one of the arenas is you're fighting on the wings of a plane. There's another arena that has like a big metal square in the middle, and you pull a lever and the square opens up and you fall through, and basically you have to throw your opponents off the edge of the stage.
Bearing in mind you don't have full control of your body.
It's like playing as a teddy bear. It's very awkward.
But so much fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. Good. And what's it going to be on?
Xbox Game Pass.
But it's not coming out till
next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
But I think if you do want to play it now, I have seen some streamers stream early access of it. So I think there is early access versions of this game out there.
Well, it's not a console exclusive, so it might be on PC.
Yeah.
Segueing into your favorite
into my favorite game. I can't believe that this is happening. So one of the best games I picked up last year, and I've put a lot of hours into it, is of course Hades. Won multiple games of the year. Absolutely gorgeous, really difficult roguelike game. It's on PC, it's on Switch. Now it's coming to Xbox. Not only is it coming to Xbox, it's coming to Xbox Game Pass in August. Play it for free. No excuse not to play this game now. What I'm really hoping for as well, because the Switch version has a really cool feature. It actually has cross-save with your PC version. So I played the game a bunch on my PC, and I picked up the Switch version so I could play it in bed. So when we're chilling out, just play it in bed. And it was going to be like one of those games where it's like, I really can't be bothered starting this game again.
Yep.
But cross-save carries over to my Switch. Switch save carries across to my PC. I can play it wherever. So I imagine they're going to do the same I hope they do the same for the Xbox version. But either way, if you haven't played it, highly recommend it. Next up, we had
Somerville. Somerville was that interesting looking game that kind of looked like Playdead's Inside.
Inside, yeah. It was a mix of Inside and Limbo, sort of. It was like Inside styled, like arts and... They didn't
really show off too much about the game. It just sort of looked like...
So basically there's a family, a mum, dad, and a kid, and a dog.
Sitting on a couch.
Sitting on a couch. Clearly something has happened, like either alien invasion or explosion or something gone off. And there's just a lot of people running around. They didn't really show off much.
It was just the family dodging like things falling from the sky and pulling and pushing trolleys and things to kind of get to where they need to be. And that was about it.
Again, very reminiscent of Limbo and Inside. But
and, of course, available on...
Game Pass! Game Pass title. You're gonna,
not till next year.
Not till next year, but you're going to get sick of us saying the words Game Pass. Do you want to take this one?
Sure. Of course, the biggest reveal of the night, or at least one of the biggest reveals of the night, is the much-anticipated Halo Infinite free-to-play multiplayer gameplay trailer.
So, key thing to note. So, usually you need an Xbox Live subscription to play multiplayer games, but this is going free-to-play.
Well, that's literally what Xbox has done. Any multiplayer game that is exclusive to Xbox is free-to-play. So... that essentially, again, is value for money because you don't need that extra subscription to play games online.
Well, now you just get the base version of Game Pass. You get the Halo Infinite because it's console exclusive. You get it day one.
Yep.
And now you can just play the multiplayer with your friends.
Yep, exactly. And the gameplay trailer was absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yes.
The skins that you get, the armor, there was that samurai-looking one.
That's my favourite one, yeah.
It just looked so good.
There's an awesome moment in the trailer where the guy throws either like a... Oh, they had the announcer. They brought back the announcer. The Killer Mount Jaro. Double kill. I love that guy. There's an awesome moment in the trailer where someone throws like either a grenade or something next to an energy sword, and the explosion launches it off of where it is, and the guy jumps up and grabs the sword and then stabs someone. And they dropped a date for us. Well,
they didn't drop a date. They just mentioned holiday this year.
They said holiday, but if you can put a couple of things together, this November is the 20th anniversary of Halo. It makes sense that they're going to launch this game in November.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. They're going to drop it in November.
And of course, then following that,
Jumping into that, I'm actually very surprised that XBOX Bethesda announced the release date for this one. Diablo 2 Resurrection, which is the remastered version of... Oh, how old is that game? It's early 2000s, I think, Diablo 2. But coming to consoles, got a release date of September 23rd. Which, again, right around the corner. You don't have to wait too long for that. Looks really cool. I really love Diablo 3. I was hoping for a Diablo 4 announcement. Unfortunately, didn't see much of that. But Diablo 2 Resurrection, and I think... Did they say it was 8 players? I think it was definitely more than 4.
It's quite a few. I can't remember.
I can't wait for that multiplayer. But yeah, September 23rd. Then they announced a game I don't think I've ever seen talked about before. The trailer is very weird and a little bit gross, I think. Bit creepy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all in the title, right?
Yeah, it's all in the title. A Plague's Tale Requiem, which is launching in 2022. This is the sequel to... A
Plague's Tale.
A Plague's Tale, which I never heard of, I don't think.
I've heard of. I've just not played it. I don't really know too much about it either.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's... I guess we'll see. They didn't show much of it. It was just a single...
No, I wasn't concentrating too much because I was more interested in what came next.
Yep.
Which was more Far Cry 6 and therefore more Giancarlo Esposito as the main villain.
Literally every show that they've had has been Far Cry 6. Yep. Obviously, they had the Summer Games Fest, they had the interview, the Ubisoft event, they announced it, Xbox event. They didn't do anything at the Square Enix event.
I'd be surprised if they did.
Yeah.
But no, Far Cry 6, we finally got some gameplay.
Yep.
So that was really interesting to see because obviously you get to play as a female character.
Which we think is the first time in a Far Cry game.
I believe so.
I can't remember if in the DLC for Far Cry 5 you could or not.
Oh, no, there was Far Cry 5, I think it's a New Dawn or something like that. You get to play as two sisters.
Oh, okay, because someone in our chat thought that was one of the villains of the series for that one.
I can't recall. I know one of the DLCs, you're right. You could.
Yeah,
there were females.
At the very least, this is the first main campaign where you get to play as a female, which is cool.
And it looked absolutely bonkers. It looked just like a Just Cause game.
Yeah.
It was just so much fun. I think this is definitely a day one pickup for me.
I think my favorite was they were talking about having the right tools for the right job. And one of them involves getting a chicken with a studded spiked collar. It's like a metal goth chicken. And apparently you can use them in missions to go and attack people.
I just focused on the fact that you could launch like missiles from your backpack.
Oh yeah,
that
it was
like super
cool.
cool.
Like an Apex Legends hero almost. But and we got the release date.
Yep. So October 7th this year. It's going to be, like I said earlier, day one purchase for me. Day one purchase. One of the editions actually comes with a figure, which I'm tempted to pick up because it's literally the villain and his son. So Giancarlo, Esposito, and Diego.
I thought it would be like the wheelchair dog.
Chorizo! We all love chorizo. That would be amazing if they did that. I'll pick that up if they did that. We all love chorizo.
Next up, a game that I didn't see coming. I wasn't expecting this. Slime Ranchers 2. Who remembers Slime Ranchers? Game's actually on Xbox Game Pass right now. Pretty sure it's still on Xbox Game Pass.
Should be.
A bit of a weird one. I didn't see this coming. But coincidentally, just coming to Game Pass day one.
Didn't you say you streamed your very first stream or something like that with Slime Rancher 1?
No, not on my first stream. I remember streaming it for Xbox Xbox Zone.
Yeah.
And it was very weird. You go around sucking up slimes and depositing them into these force field fences, and you make them breed. And
don't you have to absorb like chickens to feed them?
Yeah, you have like a vacuum gun, and you suck things up, and you fire it at the slime so they can eat the food. Very weird.
I just remember playing it just once, and all I did was just chasing chickens.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one. Coming back to reality, I guess a little bit more. It feels very, very weird. Is it? So it seems like games come and go in cycles. How we had the zombie cycle through early 2010. And then we go into like aliens and things like that. And now we're back into what seems to be the extreme sports genre. We've got, of course, Riders Republic. And now we've got the trailer for Shredders.
Yes, the new snowboarding game.
Which it looks like it's trying to be a very realistic snowboarding game. Again, looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, but this is the thing though. When you have Riders Republic, where you can play every different extreme sport.
What's it?
Mountain biking,
skateboarding. Yeah, it seems...
You essentially have a playground at your disposal, but then now you've got Shredders, which is just snowboarding.
Yeah, they don't have any of the wingsuits, do they? I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
But looked very nice. But it's, a very weird time that we're in, that all the extreme sports games are coming back.
It must have been after Tony Hawk's got remastered.
That they all were like, oh, let's jump. Because there's also the extreme bird sports.
Oh, yes.
With the bird
skateboarding game.
That's happening end of this year. But I don't know. It's not really for me. This one's not a Game Pass title, so I probably won't be playing it. But it is coming for the fans who are excited for this, December this year, 2021. I think I'm going to talk about this one. I'm very excited for this one.
You can go for the next year.
This is a game that came out or got announced. Pretty sure it was at the E3 that you and I both went to together.
Oh wow, that's
might have been. I'm pretty sure it's 2017. This is the. It looks like BioShock meets Fallout. We are talking about Atomic Heart. All I can say is go watch the trailer. It looks insane. You can see a lot of calls to BioShock. You can see the influences of Fallout. It's a first-person shooter where you have gun in one hand, crazy powers in your other hand. I'm excited. I'm excited. And, of course, Game Pass, day one. Although there's no release date. No. I think it's next year.
Mm-hmm.
If that.
Yeah.
But
don't think so. I don't think they got a release date. Even for the next game. All I know is the next game replaced...
What was this one about?
For the life of me, I can't remember.
Replaced.
I can't even... It was 3 a.m., guys. We can't remember everything in the top of our head, but replaced.
Let me have a quick Google.
Cyberpunk platformer.
Oh, that's right. It's the one that has the pixel graphics but set in the 3D environment. That was right. It was like a weird beat 'em up as far as it's starting to come back to me now. It looked a bit weird. I don't know. I needed to see, I think, more for that game. Clearly, if we can't remember.
We can't remember, so clearly we didn't see enough.
But 2022. Guess we'll see. That's probably one of the only games on the list
so far.
I mean, and we're more than 3/4 of the way through the list.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost there.
We're almost there, and it's... God, we've got some pretty big titles coming up too.
Yeah, we haven't even got to the end. This is all in order, by the way, so the big stuff we haven't even gotten to yet.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have an announcement.
The Shroom and Doom update for Grounded.
So Grounded is the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game.
What did you call it last night? It was something really bizarre.
Oh, I can't remember. It's something to do with being small or something like that. I knew it was the small game.
So, new update coming to Grounded June 30th. It's going to be...
It's still in early access. It's still on Game Pass.
Yep.
And they announced a new big bad enemy. Mm-hmm. It's like the spider matriarch or something like that. It looked pretty horrifying. For those of you who don't know, in Grounded, there are spiders, and it's like the creepiest thing in the game. And people are so scared of the spiders in games that the developers had to update the game with an arachnophobia mode, which turns the spiders into just blobs. So they don't look like spiders. You just have these aggressive blobs coming to attack you.
Yeah, I personally, the fact that we live in Australia, I think that's a very good thing.
Look, our spider encounter, we've had one spooky, scary spider encounter at your brother's place. Mm-hmm. And I think that's it.
Touch wood. Well, the next one wasn't quite a surprise, but it was
I've been very excited. Cool update. I was saying to the team, imagine you're a small indie studio. Your game is not a commercial success. It's got a very small player base. One day, a streamer picks up the game and goes, "This is pretty good. I'm going to share this with my friends." And then, boom, the game explodes. It's one of the most played games on Steam. We, of course, are talking about Among Us, which is coming to Xbox Game Pass. Woo! With an update. With an update. Mm-hmm. So currently, lobbies for Among Us are 10 players. They're now updating it to 15-player lobbies, which is awesome. So you can have 15 players, 3 imposters. It looks very cool. Mm-hmm. And of course, they only just did the airship update a couple of months back. So really, it's always nice to see small indie company have a massive success like this.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this started becoming very popular after Fall Guys, or around about the same time as Fall Guys.
It was the party games, the fun multiplayer games. There was like a phase where
it could also be because of the pandemic, because we were all staying at home, not much to do. Play a multiplayer game that you can play with your friends, keep you connected. Like literally, 2020 was all about the Among Us games.
It was literally the perfect storm for the studio.
Yeah.
So they didn't have a date. They just said coming soon, but it's probably going to be this year. I mean, that's about it. Next up, we have The Ascent. I actually can't remember.
I can't remember much of this either. I have heard a lot of people who play on Xbox have been very, very excited for this one. But I don't know if I would pick this one up.
Well, this was the isometric shooter.
It's almost like is it a tactical game? A tactical shooter or strategy?
So it's a top-down shooter game. I actually don't remember too much about this one. Apparently, though, it has no randomly generated levels or load screen. I think it's the guys that did Risk of Rain, which is a very popular third-person roguelike. Let's have a look.
Yeah, so it is a top-down.
Yeah. But yeah, it's coming to Xbox Game Pass.
It's a very cyberpunky top-down shooter, essentially.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. And
then we've got this interesting title that I would never have expected to see.
This is our literal first anime announcement of the entire show.
Would you consider it anime though?
You look at the art style, 100% anime.
So it's Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes by 505 Games.
I've never heard of this one before.
I haven't heard of it either. All I know is the characters look very similar to Sword Art Online, and that had me excited. Gameplay wise, I think what you mentioned, it looked very pixely.
So it's another one of those games. I really like this new style that seems to be coming out where they have pixel like main characters and then the backgrounds are all 3D styled, and so it's like a 2D meets 3D game. I like the art style. I like Octopath Travelers. I think is the last big game to have done it. I don't know if they didn't really
show much in terms of gameplay.
I couldn't even tell whether it was a turn-based game or what it was. But I mean, looks okay. Do we know if it's a Game Pass title?
Can't recall.
I don't remember it being announced. I just remember they announced one of the games, which was coming out in 2022, and then there was another game that was coming out in 2023. So we'll see more next year, no doubt.
Yep.
Next up, we have one of the best trailers, I think, for the whole show,
Really?
which I think so. If you've ever seen any video game action trailer, this trailer just takes the piss out of it all the way through. And surprisingly, it was a trailer for Outer Worlds 2, which is
very, very surprising considering the Outer Worlds didn't come out until 2019?
Yeah, 2019, end of 2019, right? Or was it the start
around about? It's either late 2018, early 2019, or just about middle 2019.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Yes, it's not been very long since the last game came out, and we've already got number 2 that's been announced, which
Day 1 on Xbox Game Pass.
Xbox Game Pass. There was no release date though, but no doubt it will be a Christmas launch next year or a November launch next year. But I guess we'll see.
And the next one that was shown off is something that I think we all expected and have been waiting for, to be very honest. Microsoft Flight Simulator coming to Xbox Series X.
Oh yeah, no,
Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S.
It's already on Game Pass.
It's already on Game Pass, only on PC though.
Yep.
So we will get Microsoft Flight Simulator on July 27th.
Yep.
On the next gen consoles, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. The trailer showed off just how good the graphics are on your consoles.
Yeah, they've got obviously very good multiplayer. Also, for those of you playing on PC, they actually have been able to reduce the size of the game down from 170 gigabytes, so almost one Call of Duty. They've dropped it down from 170 gigabytes to less than 100 gigabytes now. So if you guys did play Flight Simulator on day one, I know I did. The game was massive. Maybe might be time to jump back in, especially with the new DLC that they announced.
Oh, the new DLC was absolutely mind-blowing. We're getting a Top Gun Maverick DLC, boys and girls.
So you get Tom Cruise, you get the jet fighters. I don't think they showed off anything else apart from those jets.
No, I'm just ready for the the soundtrack. and to play this game with the soundtrack just blasting.
Yeah.
It'll be, and I'm totally keen to cosplay and play as well. Just need a jumpsuit and aviators, and I'm done.
Yep, easy. Microsoft Flight Sim, got another classic Microsoft game, Age of Empires 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't really keep up with the Age of Empires game. I think this is a new one. I mean, it looks like all the other ones.
I'm pretty sure 4 is new, or at least. Was it 3 or 4 that was new?
So I'm pretty sure they did a bunch of remasters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which are all on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this must be a new title. I don't know. I don't really care for Age of Empires.
No,
it looked, because it's a next gen game, but it looks a lot like the older ones.
It's just redone, I think. So it could be an older title that's just remade.
Yeah. But coming out this year, October 28th, and on Xbox Game Pass. Woo!
For PC.
For PC, yeah.
And of course, I called this one.
Yep.
Forza Horizon 5 has finally been revealed, and it's set in none other than sunny Mexico.
Looks very pretty. We were actually talking about this on stream the other day, because this year is meant to be a Forza Motorsports release, because they alternate. They usually go Forza Motorsports, Forza Horizon, and they jump between the two. But they have announced, and they announced at the presentation, that Forza Motorsports has been delayed till probably next year. But Forza Horizon 5, again, this is a game that is taking advantage of the Xbox Series X and the power behind that console. And I think, and I mentioned this last night or this morning on the show as well, finally we are getting some games that take full advantage of the Xbox Series X. Right now we only have one Xbox Series X game, the Medium, which, I mean, looks pretty, but it's a story-driven game. But now we're getting the big boys coming out. We're getting Halo. We're getting Forza Horizon 5.
We're getting Starfield.
I can't wait for my Series X actually to be upgraded from an Xbox Game Pass machine, which is what it is at the moment, to an actual next-gen console. Yeah.
Especially with the number of console-exclusive titles coming out this year and next.
Yep.
It's going to be... You're going to put your Series X in the works, essentially.
Which brings us on to our final, quote, winky face announcement. Which
this one was... I don't know if this one was one of those, hey, guess what? After all these amazing games, we have one more to show you.
Yeah. We are talking about Redfall.
So it's a brand new Bethesda Arcane Studios, I believe, is the developer.
Yep. So the guys that did Dishonored. Yep. The trailer looks amazing. It's a vampire shooter, right?
Essentially, it's a co-op multiplayer shooter.
Yeah. So it's Castlevania hits the modern age. The trio the group of people that we meet all seem to have superpowers. There's a girl that has psychic powers. There's a guy that turns invisible. I'm not sure about the other two players.
You know what the best thing about this game is, though?
What's that?
The amount of melanin that was in each of the characters.
Every
single one of them were diverse. Representation was so on point in this game.
Yep.
Not only the fact that they're all, multicultural, but there's a black girl in there, and they got her hair right.
Yep.
How often do you see a video game that gets a black woman's hair absolutely perfectly correct?
Yeah.
You could see just every little fiber move perfectly well. It was just so well done, and I think
cool.
More than the gameplay, I'm just excited that someone out there has finally gone, you know what? Games look pretty now. Games look real now.
Yep.
We need to do right by the characters and actually have them look exactly like their real life counterparts.
Yeah, it looked absolutely gorgeous. Summer 2022, so again, another November Christmas release.
And Xbox console exclusive.
An Xbox exclusive game.
No doubt will come to Game Pass as well.
Yeah, I mean, Bethesda game, right? So surely it's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
That was it for all of the announcements, except one more thing that was announced at the show. This is probably the hypest announcement.
What one's that?
A certain little mini.
Yes. The thing that Xbox likes to do is, when they finish off a whole heap of exciting announcements, there's always that one more thing. Redfall was one of them.
Yep.
And just at the end, just at the very end, the tip of the iceberg, one more thing coming to Xbox. The grandest, most wonderful piece of home appliance you will ever find. The Xbox Series X mini fridge is actually real. It is 100% real. It is coming to stores. What is it, holiday this year? So potentially a Christmas gift there, guys.
Is it going to be easier to get, though, than an Xbox Series X?
The fact that this is something that the entire Xbox community and then some wants. I have a funny feeling you're going to end up securing a Series X easier than the mini fridge.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling it's going to be hard to get a hold of. We'll be keeping our eyes out for pre-orders and trying to secure one of those when it comes out.
I need one. We don't need a fridge, but I need one. It'll be a bedside table mini fridge, I think.
What would you have in it? Bottles of wine?
Not bottles of wine. I'd have my gamer juice.
Mountain Dew.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll even use it as a mini fridge. I might just use it as a really cool Xbox Series X green light thing for the bedroom.
We'll see. They only showed off a...
it was more a concept.
It was like a 3D concept. Yeah, I don't think it was the actual thing.
But if you ever were to get something that is totally unrelated to games...
This is it.
This is 100% the product that you need to pick up. I know I'm ready to just hit that purchase button right now. I'm just waiting for the date to go live and the pre-order page. Oh, can't wait.
Well, that was it for the Xbox Bethesda game showcase. That is we covered every single announcement. Do you want to just go over your top three?
Yeah,
top three from the show.
Sure. My top three is most definitely the Sea of Thieves: A Pirate's Life.
Yep.
I'm so keen to see if I can play as Captain Jack Sparrow first and foremost, and if I can't play as Jack Sparrow, I would just like to be part of his crew. I mean, imagine how fantastic it would be just running around causing mischief and mayhem with Jack Sparrow. Of course, then there's also Halo Infinite. I traditionally have not been a Halo fan or a Halo gamer, but this game has really opened up my interest, especially because of the free-to-play multiplayer. Mm-hmm. It just looks absolutely wonderful. It's a game that I know I can play with the Xbox community and beyond, and so I'm so keen. I'm ready to even play the campaign.
Yeah.
The fact that they showed off Master Chief about to potentially take his helmet off, that had me going. I was so ready for that one.
Yeah.
And finally, of course, it's Forza Horizon 5. Absolutely beautiful game.
Yep.
Stunning. So wonderful being able to play in various different cars. The cars look amazing. The race, all the different concepts look so good. And there was even a creative mode where you get to drive.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was like Fall Guys meets Forza Horizon 5.
Yes. What was it? Essentially, you could just make your own playground and just, you know,
make your own levels by the looks and challenges. It's like, check out the trailer. I mean, that's probably the easiest way. It had bumpers, jetpacks, waters, bowling pins.
It was just... It's wild. It's amazing how the Forza team, so We Are Playgrounds or Playground Games, they brought out the Hot Wheels DLC.
I was literally about to say that. I'm so excited for this next lot of DLC. So we had Forza Horizon 3, which had the Hot Wheels DLC.
Yep.
We had Forza Horizon 4, which had the Lego DLC.
Yep.
But now that they've got this crazy party mode in Forza Horizon 5, does this mean we're going to get like micro machines? Are they going to come back?
Yeah, that would be good.
I can't think of anything else. Kinect? I don't know. You don't really think of Kinect and racing. But I want to see what the wacky DLC is going to be for
maybe
Forza
it's going to be
5.
like a crossover with Need for Speed or something like that. Oh no, it wasn't Need for Speed.
They already did a Fast and the Furious crossover with Forza Horizon 3. So I don't know if they'll do it again. They might. The new movie's coming out.
True. All right, what about your top picks?
My top picks, so I've got Atomic Heart. Looks amazing. Can't wait to play that. Back 4 Blood. Can't wait to play that. And pretty much everything that's coming to Game Pass.
I think it's really hard to even pick out our top 5s. I mean, every single game they announced yesterday or this morning, I'm very keen to try.
Yeah.
I may not finish it, but I'm very keen to try. It all looks so good. Every single one coming to Game Pass means I have the ability to play it without having to pay premium price. And, you know, if I don't like it, well, I don't lose anything. And that's the best part about Game Pass is you can try and play without having to worry about having to return your game and all of that kind of process. It's just super value for money and a time saver as well.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think that about does it for this episode. As I said, this is the first episode of the Xbox show. We will be back next fortnight. Check out our Twitter for the exact date, twitter.com/attackongeek. You can also go to our website as well, attackongeek.com, to check out all of our recaps.
Don't forget, you can also check it out on dashgamer.com. So Dashgamer is another pop culture website who feature gaming, anime, all the fun stuff.
Yep.
And we have essentially partnered with Dashgamer to bring you the Xbox show. So don't forget to check that channel out as well.
So if you're needing, Dashgamer also does, if you want your PlayStation fix, he does the PlayStation podcast, and he also looks after, I believe, the guys that do the Nintendo one as well.
I'm not sure if he looks after them.
Either way, he's a fan of them. He shouted them out before. But you can check this all out on our social media channels. Anything else?
No, nothing from me.
Too
I'm
easy.
ready for bed.
Yeah, I think we're all exhausted after this crazy, crazy night. So next week, it will be the Attack on Geek show. The week after, it will be the Xbox show. As I said, check out our social channels. Thank you so much for listening in. Thank you very much for being my co-host today and
thank
running
you very
through
much for staying up late with me and then enjoying the Xbox Bethesda show with me.
We've got a couple of days left of E3. Obviously, we're looking forward to the Nintendo show, which is in a couple of days. Stay tuned for updates on that. Thank you once again.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time.
Stay safe, look after yourselves, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.
Dashgamer.com